What's good, y'all? Welcome to episode 5 of the Creatives Unhinged Podcast. I just wanted to take the time to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting us along the way. This is a huge milestone for us, and trust me when I say, this has not been an easy process. And of course, it's YouTube, so you know I gotta say, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to the channel. The more love y'all show, the closer we get to reaching that next level. This episode is special because it features one of my good friends, Cam Bev. If you haven't gotten the opportunity to meet him or you haven't seen his work, just know that his creativity transcends the sports world in a magnificent way. The goal with this podcast is really to bring a real authentic energy to the world of creativity without all the filters, without all the BS, and to allow your favorite creators' personalities and stories to lead at the forefront. All right, so I'm not gonna bore you with all the reasons why we're doing the podcast and why we think it's the best thing since sliced bread. I just wanted to say thank you, and I appreciate y'all for rocking with us. As we always say, let's get unhinged. All right, so welcome back. Creatives Unhinged. We're doing a new episode, and we are in LA. I am your host, Janine, the real J. Will, other people call me, and I'm here with my co-host, Chance, who finally decided to show up for a pod episode.
I'm always showing up. I just usually have car problems.
So we have a special guest today, or actually he has us as special guests in his home. If you can tell by the vibe, we did something a little different. So welcome, Cam Bev, the GOAT, to the Creatives Unhinged Pod. How you feeling, man?
Feeling good. Appreciate the introduction. Happy that y'all came and tore my place up a little bit. But,
yeah, it looks crazy in here.
It definitely looks crazy, but my OCD's gonna be all right because I know everything is for the content. So
yeah, and when we leave, we'll make sure we clean it up.
It's all good. It's all good. It's what time is it right now?
2:53 in the morning.
Yes, that's about the hours we keep. So
you're a late night guy.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be like a lot more of a late night guy. Now I'm trying to like go to sleep early and wake up early. Mm-hmm. So you get that like 4 a.m. Like I try to time it, get up at like 4, and then you try to get as much as you can before that sun come up. Mm-hmm. It's really like, have 2-3 days in a day, you wake up at 4. So that's what I'm trying to do now. But you have nights like this that just mess up your whole week. Yeah. So then it's just
and it's hard to get back.
Yeah. But
I've been doing 5:30. And I'm not gonna lie, when I get up at 5:30, the day is just it's so much better.
You feel better, more productive, all of that.
Yeah. So what's been up, man? How's it hanging?
It's going.
Yeah.
Shit. It's left foot, right foot. Trying to figure it out.
What's new in the life of Cam Bev?
What's new? I feel like everybody asks me that, but I feel like it's pretty repetitive.
Yeah.
Like I'll be in the crib, I'll be editing, making different pieces, like making art.
Yeah.
And that's like really what it come down to.
Yeah. I feel like you are kind of off the grid, but at the same time, it's like you're not because you working. We just don't see you.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like to keep it that way. Like, I don't really like to like show face everywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just like I know what I need to get done here. But, it's just people will edit a project one day and think it's ready to go, whereas I'm taking 2 weeks to 2 months depending on the project. Just whether it's a passion project or whether it's something I'm getting paid for, it's just like for the love of the art. And that's what a lot of people have just lost in this day and age that we in now. Yeah. And it's sad, but it's only getting worse.
Yeah. But I feel like we don't get a lot of time now.
2 months.
To work on stuff.
No, we don't, because everybody tries to rush it out and tells us
we need it now.
Exactly. So 9 times out of 10, especially when you're doing something for corporate level, anything, it's not going to be the work that you really want to produce. So that's why, you hope that whenever you're working with these people that they trust your vision as much as, they wanted to hire you, they trust your vision as much as that. So, it's not too much disconnect.
Yeah. I mean, you popped out for the USC thing. I thought that was cool. I walked in. Yeah. I did not expect to see you there. And it was cool because I feel like it was me, you, Cool Max, Sean, Steven. It was like literally everybody that kind of started building that community in the beginning before it got crazy out here. So it was kind of nostalgic to see everybody in there. And then on top of that, USC was kind of lit. So
yeah. USC's going to be lit this year. Yeah, no, it did kind of feel like old times. Like, I just remember like early on, like obviously you have Cassie who was doing this like probably before any of us was. Like she was at like the old Drew League. Like so she's like, I look at her as like a trailblazer, right? But then you have people that, you know, like when me and Cool Mac came on kind of at the same time, like people don't know, like we was like splitting hotel rooms and like going to Philly just like like we didn't have no real credentials or nothing. We just knew some of the players and they knew that our work was cool. So it's like come on over. So we was just funding our own way, trying to make it happen. And it's just like now to just see like, I guess the opportunity that we kind of like paved, I guess. Cause before that, the camera stuff
it wasn't cool like that.
At all.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't cool.
You had a camera, like you're looked at as, oh, the camera guy. Like, oh, he could just take a picture of us. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
But it's like we came in there and tried to be, one, relatable. And like a lot of people in this space are fans. And that's what is the downfall to a lot of these people. So coming in there, it's
facts.
like, I always look at these people as like, I'm on the same level as them. Whether it's true or not, in my mind, I'm just like, look, like they doing everything they doing out here. Like I used to hoop at a high level. Like I can put the ball in a bucket. Like if y'all want to, like we could go do that.
We could line it up.
Yeah, but it's like.
We could line it up for sure. Yeah.
I look at them like, there's no way they get behind the computer and do what I do.
Yeah.
So it's like.
That's a different perspective, actually.
That was different.
Wow, I never thought about it like that. Because I feel the same way. And I've been in some like conversations with other creatives where it's like, I'm not media. I say this all the time, but it's like, I'm a hooper first. Exactly. I just happen to be creative and I actually happen to be good at what I'm doing. And but the reality is, I was a bucket. You know what I'm saying? And there's nobody that's going to step to me and tell me otherwise. I don't care who you are. But thinking about it from that perspective, like, y'all can't get behind this computer and do what we doing.
Not at all.
Nope.
I mean, and I've had people tell me, like, if you were 6'4", you'd be in the L. And it's like, sure, the L is impossible. It's hard. Like, I got friends that are very, very, very talented that should be playing game. The league is very political, whatever. I'm not trying to say people gonna go crazy with me saying that. But I could hoop. So it's like, there's certain limitations on certain careers and certain things that you know? Like, height is a factor. Like, I'm not gonna guard no one and like, I can't do it. Like, whether it's the lateral quickness or getting me in the post, it's just not gonna work. Like, God is, didn't make me like that. So, but, I'll give you 45 from 3, but that's only gonna take you so far.
But y'all not giving me 45 on this computer.
Nah, they're not even gonna give me 20.
Yo, that's crazy because I never even thought about that.
Nah, me neither. That was kind of just off the dome for real.
So what made you like actually get started into like being a videographer or an editor, just getting in the creative world?
Right. I mean, in high school, it was all hoop, right? So everything growing up was just basketball. Like going to the gym every day. I'm playing on 3 AAU teams at a time, hopping around weekend, who playing this weekend, who playing that weekend, live periods, all of that. Up until that point, it's like, get a scholarship, right? It's like, you want to go D1, do all that, right? So then when I was in 5th grade, my dad actually had cancer. And that was like a moment, for me, I didn't really understand it too well, but it was just like, my dad is sick. But like, I just remember telling him, like, when I seen him like that, I'm like, you're not going to pay for my school. So when I eventually did get my scholarship, although it was D2, it was just like a moment for me. It's just like, I kind of like, upheld that commitment. So from there, got into school. College basketball is very, very political. So, you have your favorites, the people who were like heavily recruited and all that and whatnot. So it's like, I come in there, I'm a 5'9" white boy on a good day. Like, I'm just, first glance, like, they not, like, the teammates not respecting me and whatnot, so you got to earn that. Yeah. And then I did that, and then it's like, you still really don't get the opportunity that you deserve or whatever it might be. So then my junior year, I was just like, picked up a camera, and I was like, let me just film myself for some content, right? So I just started filming for like just like old Instagram, really like little clips and like reels weren't even a thing at this time. The old logo, like and picked up a camera and started filming for that. And then I was like, I'm kind of good at this. So let's try to make it a career. Yeah. And like, that's really how it started. So then it was like, what do I got to do to turn that into like making this something to where it could be monetary? So then it's just from there, I just started DMing everybody, hitting up trainers, players, this and that. Like, hey, bro, like, can I come film you here? I'll make you a mix, whatever. It was free work for like 4 years.
Yeah, real. I was just going to say, did you have your experience with free work? Like most of us kind of had a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think free work is necessary.
Yeah.
It's a fine line because it's like, if you do too much, then it's going to be expected.
Yeah.
And that's when it just starts to be a burden on you. And especially if it's not going to benefit you in any way. Yeah. You know, it's like up to this point though, you know, I've done free work for a lot of people and kept relationships and they've turned into something. Yeah. Like I've never asked anything from any of my homies or whatever that in the L or anything like that as far as like, I don't know, monetary or whatever. It's just all been like natural conversation. It's like from that, you know, you do free work and you build and then like they can help you get other opportunities. Yeah. Some of the athletes that I was working for early on, I was doing free work for them, but it's like, if they got to deal with a company, it's like, all right, well, I got my guy, so he's going to film it. And then they would see my work and be like, oh, he's valid. Like, all right, cool. So then I send them the invoice. So it's like, the talent's getting paid, but I'm getting paid for the creator fee. And I'm also, you know, just building my relationships with one, the brand, and two, the athlete or the person. Free work is necessary, but you just got to be careful with it.
Is there a timeline on it though?
Yeah. Is there a what?
A timeline on it, because you said 4 years. So do I need to do work for 4 years to get somewhere?
I think you have to be like prepared for that. I don't even think it's like necessarily a timeline. You just got to be prepared to put in the work. Like if you want to do something, obviously it's not going to be a walk in the park, whatever it is. So especially this video stuff, because there's no right way to do it. And I think that's the biggest thing that people don't understand. It's like you can go over and over in your head again on the edit, but it's never going to be right or perfect. Yeah. So I would say do free work until you know that you're good enough to charge. Because a lot of people out here are just simply delusional. Like they'll see their work and they think that it's of a certain level, but it's really not. I mean, sure, you could charge like at different rates whenever you're, you know, doing your work. If it's, when I first started, I was doing weddings for like $500. Like
a full wedding?
Yeah. Like that's insane. My first wedding, I did for $500. But that's when I had like my first camera ever. I was still learning. It was the homie's wedding. You know, it's just like, that's how you grow and that's how you learn. It's like, for me, it's like I was getting that 500, like, cool. Like, when I was still putting in the time to make it good, even though I didn't know what I was doing. It was like, put in the time to learn it while you're making it so it is good. Yeah. So then from there, it's like, you grow faster with that because you actually care about your work. You care about your art. You care about improving. YouTube University, learning, watching hella tutorials, transitions. People don't want to do that. They don't want to put the time in. Yeah. And everybody always asks me, like, do I need a camera, a good camera when I'm starting out? What camera should I get? This and that. Yeah. I always tell people, like, why are you trying to get a Ferrari, but you're not even in the Indy 500? Like, you're not in no big race yet. Yeah. Like, you could start off with a Camry. You still driving down the street. Like, you gotta...
That's a good analogy, because folks really ain't driving at all yet. And they
not at all. Like,
what you driving? Yeah. I'm about to get me one. He ain't got a license.
That's another one. They don't even have a license down there. Half the time they asking what car to drive, what camera to use. Yeah. And they don't even have a license. They don't even know how to work the camera, but they asking do I need the best one? Yeah. Use your phone. Like, use something, just get creative.
Yeah. But I'm low key getting mad because people I know I'm really getting pissed right now because like not low key. I started with an iPod Touch. Like,
that's actually crazy.
An iPod Touch. I'm in the gym, 4 period, recording basketball practice with the iPod Touch.
I've seen the footage.
iPod Touch is crazy.
I've seen the footage. It's crazy.
What quality is that?
You said what quality? Yeah. 1080.
It was solid. It was solid.
1080 on an iPad?
It was solid.
iPod
Touch. It was solid.
Yeah. I think I had the iPod like 5, iPod Touch 5 or something.
Yeah, it was solid. I was shocked actually.
It was, it did what it could for the environment, but now like kids are popping out with FX3s. You know what I'm saying?
Don't even know how to use the camera.
Come on, bro. Like it's that crazy. Really like,
damn, she just gonna come at you like that?
I ain't coming at him.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I don't have an FX3. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but I think, like, to your point, like, that's valid because I think two things. One, your timeline is your timeline. Like, to me personally, I feel like, and we talked the other day, it's like, you know a couple people that blew up after a couple months. And some people, it may take 4 to 7 years. It may take longer. Like, it's going to be different because everybody's like, everybody's grind is different too. Like, are you going home at the end of your shoots and you got kids and a job and stuff like that? Or are you going home and you just strictly going to the computer to edit and learn new stuff? Like, everybody's process is different.
Yeah.
So that's like the first part. But I think the other thing is like, everybody is jumping in without getting their feet wet first. And like, what camera do I need? And they're getting these $7,000 cameras and they don't even know how to use them. And it's like, learn the tool that you have first. It can be an iPhone. It can be an iPod. It could be a basic camera, Sony a6600, right? It could be something so simple. And it's like, you could be a master at that camera and your stuff look better than some people who got some crazy cameras. Because I know some people that I'm like, you walking around with that thing like you the man, and your work is low-key mediocre. You know what I'm saying? Not to be shady, but it's like, you know, so just learn the tools that you have because then when you can't afford to upgrade, your shit just looks 10 times better. Like, I remember when I first got my A1, it was like, I felt like I had God's camera.
Yeah.
But it's like, I learned everything else on a Canon T3i, on a A7S II with a terrible bit rate, like learning bad color grading. I did all of that on the bad cameras first. And then as I got better, it's like, okay, now it's worth me investing in a tool that's going to help make my job a little bit easier. Right. Oh, now I want to get into maybe making documentaries. Now I'm going to get an FX6, right? Those are the steps. And everybody's steps are different, but it's like, bro, don't ask me what camera I'm shooting with. And you can't speak this camera language. Because it's like, you got to take the baby steps first.
Yeah.
People running, they, you know, jumping the gun, man.
Yeah, I'm going to just say it. A Canon T7i.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm shooting on a Canon T7i.
That's when you get like from Costco in the pack.
You get the kit lens. The one where you know.
No, that's actually insane. He said from Costco in the pack.
Oh,
man. I wanted that for Christmas.
You get that little slow ass.
I wanted that for Christmas.
You get that little slow ass memory card and all that.
Yeah, man. Get your little 16 gig.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. Nah, you had said something though about timeline. Everybody's timeline is different. And I just want to touch on that a little bit. Pause. That sounds crazy. But
don't get them activated. Please don't get chance
activated.
This
is serious. This is
serious. Lock in. But yeah, you talked about timeline, and I think that's one of the biggest things that people don't take advantage of. You got to take advantage of the timeline of your life, right? So you talking about kids and this and that. A lot of people don't figure out what they want to do until it's too late. And then they're just stuck in a rut of paycheck to paycheck, paying bills, this and that. Yeah. When I was in college, I come home from practice, I'm on a computer. My teammates would go out, party, go wherever. And I'm just like, for what? Like, y'all gonna graduate, or most of them didn't, but y'all gonna graduate and then try to figure it out. Whereas like, I'm in college right now. I don't have crazy, overhead. So I'm gonna take advantage of this time. I don't have no one to give my time to, commitment-wise, whatever. So during those, like, I guess 3 to 4 years where I really locked in was the time where I just built myself in this, lane skill-wise. Yeah. So when I was able to graduate and go out and be ready for the opportunities, go to the gyms, film the stuff, make the edits, I already knew what I was doing because I was already locked in, putting in the time, figuring out how to do it. And people just go to college and spend 4 years because they don't know what they want to do. And they just waste that time. Yeah. And it's like, people say, well, how do I know what I want to do? You got to try shit. Yeah. Like, you can't just sit there and be like, I don't know. You got to try. You got to fail. You got to do this. You got to do that. Like, that's the only way you're going to figure out if there's something that you like to do.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. So, like, how do you handle when people come to you and they're like, how did you get this? How did you get to work with these athletes? How did you get to shoot this event, this project with this brand? Like, what do those conversations look like for you?
I mean, I think a lot of people think it's like a golden opportunity I had gotten, or, you know, I fell into like a perfect situation. And like in many cases, sure, that's true. But even when you fall into those situations, like you have to be prepared. And it's not even prepared from the talent level. It's prepared on like a human level. Just having conversation, having rapport with people. Like I hoop my whole life. So when I'm around these basketball players, like I already know how to speak their language. Like I know what a hezzy to a step back to the euro to the left hand finish is. Like some people that have the camera not even gonna know. They're gonna be like, oh, he just did a dribble with a nice shot off the backboard. Like
I mean, this is serious though.
It's like you really,
it's a real thing.
You have to know your area, and it's like you have to know your lane. And it's funny, but it's just like there's so many squares in this lane, though. And it's like they wonder like, and it's not even if they're squares and whatnot, because that's a bad word, right? I've been called a square by some people too, but it's like you have to not be like fans really in this lane. Like you can't be a fan.
No, that's a fact.
And you have to have respect. And then if you give them respect and you show your worth, they'll give you that same respect.
The moment you walk in a room like you don't belong, they smell it on you.
Yeah.
Every time.
And the door's shut. Yeah. That's how I feel. Not saying you got to go in there thinking like you big time, but when I feel like when you level that playing field to like you're human, I'm human, it's a lot easier to navigate the rooms, even if you're not super talented, because it's like we can relate as people. But when you go in there and you look wide-eyed like you don't belong, or you don't know how to move, you don't know how to act, like people will treat you there and like that, and they will put you in a box.
They're going to keep you right in that box.
They're going to keep you in that box until you fight your way up out of it. And then now you're mad. You're mad at them because they didn't respect you. They didn't respect your work. They didn't treat you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, then you're mad at how other people get to move in spaces who sometimes you may feel like aren't as good as you.
Yeah.
Why did you let this person in? Well, sometimes it's simply just, like you said, relationship-based, being able to speak the language. Like I know for me personally, I've been in a lot of rooms just because I simply know how to speak the language. And when you talking to me about some basketball stuff, I'm going to probably blow your mind because I know exactly what you're talking about. It's not going over my head. Exactly. When you're looking for something specifically like in the creative work, even if you can't articulate it, I know exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Because I can speak that language. And it's not easy for everybody to do that.
And like with speaking that language, ever since I first started filming the athletes or the celebrities, I hate that word, but the people that have a higher status in life.
High profile people.
Yeah. Somebody called me a C-list celebrity the other day. I was like, is that an insult or a compliment? How do I take that?
That's crazy.
They called you a C-list
that can go either way.
I'm just like, I'm good.
That can go either way.
I don't even want the label. I promise you I'm okay. Like,
hey, C-list is crazy.
Yeah, but
it's borderline disrespectful.
Yeah.
Low key, but you know.
Like, just don't call me a celebrity.
You know
if you're going to call me a C-list.
Just call me a human. Like.
C-list.
Keep it to yourself.
But a lot of people, when they first go in there, it's like they're so timid about just everything they're doing. And whether that comes from lack of confidence or lack of experience in the work that they're doing, it's like they're just so scared to talk or interact. Whereas like, first day, I'm filming whoever it might be. They're looking at my camera. I'm like, nah, louder, speak up. Like I'm filming. I'm like, can't hear you. Nah, move over. Nope, don't like that. Say it again. I'm telling them directly to their face, just like that. And it's like, some people might think it's aggressive, but at the end of the day, they know that, okay, he's looking out for me right now. Like he want to make sure I look good. It's not I'm not a yes man. I'm not just going to be like, yeah, you good. Yeah. Nah, I'm going to tell you.
You got a job to do.
Exactly. Like I got a job to do and you got a job to do. Yeah. So it's like, if you speaking too fast, if you mumbling, you stuttering, I'm going to tell you like, nah, slow down, put some emphasis on this. It's going to be better in the edit. That's how I'll build something. If I'm making an edit and I know like, okay, I need him to slow down here, put emphasis on this word here. I'll tell him exactly how to say that. Yeah. But 90% of the people out here not going to do that. They just going to, they just going to say, oh, you could just say it however you want to, man. I'll make it work. Yeah. And then it's not to the level of their mind of what they thought it was going to sound like.
We'll fix it in post. We won't say anything. We'll fix it in post.
This is funny because this is exactly how you said it. That's exactly how people talk. Like, that's wild to me.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it firsthand,
It's a great switch up.
So what gave you that confidence? Is it because like you were an athlete, or is it because it's just something that's kind of in you? Like what?
I mean, yeah, it could be that. I mean, it's funny because like the color of my skin has given me certain opportunities, and I have way more black friends than I do white friends. And growing up, every time I walk into a gym, it was like they looked at me as like, oh, he not supposed to be here. So whereas people of my skin color in the world fit in, growing up, I never fit in my lane. You know, I walk into a gym and I had to prove myself every day, whether that's me shit talking or, you know, just I really had to gain my respect in that lane. Like I remember my dad used to, me and a couple of my friends back in high school, he used to drive us down to Compton, drop us off at this little park run or whatever, and just be like, go get a bucket, like figure it out, like get tougher. And then like through that, like I started to get white chocolate, this and that. And like, you know, it's like, so you build from stuff like that.
Not the real white chocolate.
And then it's like.
White Iverson vibes, man.
You know, you build from stuff like that, and you get confidence through those experiences because you're forced to. Like you're literally thrown into that situation, and it's like, well, I sink or swim. Like, my dad had me doing all the spelling bees, the speech meets. I knew Martin Luther King's "I Had a Dream" word by word. He came into my catechism class on Sunday. Said, "Oh, my son wants to say the speech in front of y'all." I had to walk up there and say the whole speech.
Oh God,
next day
was
at school,
crazy.
I walk in, same thing. My dad's there with the teacher. Like, oh yeah, my son wanted to say a speech in front of the class.
Oh my God.
Sitting there
stressed
like,
me out.
That's OD.
All right.
Dad
so
was stressing us out.
I was forced to talk so much at a young age. My dad be on the phone with somebody and just hand me the phone. Be like, who is it? Be like, figure it out.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Like, I was just forced to communicate. So when I got older, it's like, not an awkward communicator. Like I know how to talk to people and I know how to hold a conversation. I know how to be a human. It's not that complicated to me. But to other people, it's just.
So if you can imagine yourself as somebody who wasn't that outgoing and maybe outspoken and confident, what advice would you give somebody who's like trying to figure that part out?
Talk more.
Yeah.
Like, you trying to get better at something, right? You trying to, if you bad at free throws, you going to shoot some free throws, right? You're going to try to get your percentage up. You can't get better at making the free throws if you don't shoot the free throws. So it's like, if you scared to talk to somebody, you just got to
put yourself out there.
Do it. And it's going to get better over time. You're not always going to be bad. You're not always going to be fumbling over your words. It's just, you got to throw something out there, see how they react, and then play off that. At the end of the day, we're all human. We all gonna die. This really don't mean nothing, honestly. That's how I look at it. Like, it means something as far as like leaving your legacy, but you go and talk to somebody and it don't go how you want it to go, who cares? Like,
it is what it is. That's a great mentality.
I feel that. So what are some, like, obviously, like, we've seen your journey as friends, and Chance admired you a little bit. I admired your work a little bit. We talk all the time about, you know, the stuff I feel like you do really well. What were some like pivotal moments for you as you're like getting to this point where you are now?
Reflection. That's like the toughest thing to do as a creative, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure, you know, you think the same way, similar, and like my mind is like always moving on to like what's next. So it's never like reflection, especially on like old work. But
it's great old work though.
It is great. And it's like
some good stuff.
The pieces that I make, like I'm confident in saying they're great just because I know I put so much time into them. It's like I only put out a select, you know, few pieces of work per year, really, because it just takes me a long time to put those pieces together. And it's like I take a lot of pride behind that. So when you talk about like pivotal moments, like there's certain videos that are here in some people's mind, but are here in my mind just because the artistry of another one might be a little better, even though the story wasn't there, or whatever it might be, or it's they don't have as much clout in the other video, and but I like the edit better and the art better. But not people aren't seeing it like that. But to answer your question, I think the Vogue piece was really one of the biggest things for me. I mean, you know, growing up, like you see all these magazines, right? You see Vogue, GQ, whatever it might be, just anything upper echelon. You always want to get in there. You want to be published. I remember
that was a big thing for a long time.
Right?
We need to get published so we get verified.
All of that, right? So it's like...
Still ain't verified. I'm published multiple times.
You can buy it.
And I was an athlete. You could literally look me up. Still not verified.
Make it make sense.
Shit's wild.
I had someone literally change their whole name to my name, and I'm still...
And you still not verified. Got an impersonation going on.
$14.99.
Yeah, I ain't paying it. They're not getting it out of me.
Nah.
I'm just saying, you want it. $14.99.
But
the Vogue piece.
Yeah.
Great piece.
Yeah. I think in my mind, it was kind of crazy how that happened too, because when I found out that Vogue wanted to publish it, because first we were just going out there filming the content and we were going to try to pitch it. His agency and then was going to pitch it.
Yeah.
And then we didn't hear anything for a while. So I actually went out to Rolling Loud to film that. And then I heard back from Josh's manager and he was like, Vogue wants the video. They want to publish the video. And I have 3 days to finish it. I go back home. I had to go to set at Sony Studios the next day for another client. So I'm there all day. Was there again the next day. Came back home that night. I might have done like 3 days straight. For real.
Yeah.
And I finished it, turned it in. And then like after I finished, I remember I was so gassed. Like I was just walking into the kitchen and I tried to grab a bottle of water. I couldn't pick it up. Like I'm like shaking,
just tired,
trying to get there. But it was crazy because it's like I pushed myself very hard before, but I've never pushed myself to where my body literally shut down.
Yeah.
People be like, I'm tired. If you got to get something done, like that's Vogue. Like I'm not going to just fumble that opportunity.
You got to figure it out.
I'm going to get it done. And it's like I already had commitments to go to Sony Studios for another client who's worth over $100 million. So it's like I'm not just going to flake on that for something else. So I had to get it done.
Yeah.
This is like a Kanye Virgil combination in its infancy.
This draft and the star power that it has in it, I think throughout, he's undeniably the most influential, off of the court. But his game matches how he dresses. Designing my brother's draft suit is something that has manifested itself many, many years ago.
The pieces are amazing. What I like most about them, they have a young feel to them.
Have an opportunity to meet Dapper Dan.
After I did that, like I'm trying to get a drink. I take a step down the step, my whole body just collapsed. Leg give out, collapsed.
Damn.
Sitting on the floor.
That's different.
I'm crawling like to my car. Because I'm sleeping in my car. Because we were moving. They took my bed. So I crawl in the back of my car and I just fall asleep. And I think I slept for like 20 hours. Like not fully, but in the car. And I'm just...
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like... Oh, and then after all that, they canceled the Vogue piece. Because I didn't get it in time.
I kind of remember that a little bit.
So they canceled it. And then they said... They hit me back. Like, I think it was either later that day or the next day saying... We're going to run it on Monday. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, thank God. Like, and then I seen it and I got the text from his manager and then people like, you're officially published in Vogue. And like, that was just a moment for me. That's
dope,
because it's like, that's one of the pinnacles, I feel like. Yeah. When I first picked up a camera, I did this to film myself doing content. Yeah. And it's like now, like I see my name and my watermark in Vogue. Like, they left the Bev on there.
That to me, I thought was like one of the biggest flexes. Because it's like, usually the logo got to come off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to leave the logo was like, that was the stamp of approval.
It's next level.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's like,
different.
When I seen that, I'm like, I could really take this anywhere I want to take it. What other pinnacle can I reach now in something else? So it's like my mind just be going back and forth when I think about accomplishments like that. That's why I don't want to talk about accomplishments.
I feel that. Like, I think just for like people that are fans of you though, like we saw moments that were like we talked about it earlier. Like for me, the Vogue video, honestly, it was probably too when you first started working with Kelly a little bit. I remember this damn video you did when the fucking beads was like disappearing or some crazy shit
Paris,
like that.
Yeah, Paris.
So it was like this time frame of you just like really, you know, leveling out to where it's like,
going crazy.
Honestly, I got to a point, and I kind of still feel like this on like the lower level of creatives, is like nobody really touching you on the editing side. And the reason I say that is not just to like gas or because of like the end result, is because I've also seen the process. I've seen what your timelines look like, and we've talked while you were in the middle of edits. I saw the Vogue process like to some degree. So it's like, I have yet to meet anybody that's doing that. Like, I feel like I would compare you probably to like our version of like a Gibson Hazard or something. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, nobody's doing that by themselves. And for a long time, you was doing all of that by yourself. In Final Cut.
Yeah.
I'm a Final Cut user.
Yeah, it's the only way to go.
Not anymore, really.
Not anymore, but I was in that bag where they joking on us and, oh, y'all in Final Cut, you know, you can't edit like that. And it's like, this dude edits look way better than a lot of stuff y'all doing in Premiere. And like, obviously you can use Final Cut and still use other stuff, but it's like the main source of all of that stuff is Final Cut. And people are like, there's no way. I remember because I used to talk about it. He did that in Final Cut. Like, I'd be bragging. They'd be like, there's no way he did that.
People used to tell me, like, bro, how, like, what do you... And I'm just like, your software is, like, if you give me a ball, I'm going to still get a bucket.
Yeah.
Like, you put a software in front of me, I mean, I'll choose Final Cut. But no matter what it is, I'll learn how to use it, right? It's just about your comfortability with what it is. So it's like, you could use Premiere and be great. It's just what you prefer.
Yeah. But, do you feel like you're going to stay
Final Cut
in that Final Cut program?
Yeah, I'm not going to leave Final Cut,
You're not going to touch the new wave, the DaVinci, and do some color in there?
No, I mean, I color in Final Cut. I'm good. Like, at this point, if I really need something colored, I'll just go to a colorist. Like,
we got to that level. Gotcha.
I was about to say, so talk about that. Like, working with other people, once you get to a certain level, it's like, okay, now I need help.
Yeah.
Just to take this thing to the next level, or sometimes even to take things off your plate that normally may take you 2 months. Now you can, you know, kind of transition some of the work to other people. Maybe it's sound design, maybe it's color grading, some visual effects. You did use some crazy visual effects this past year. So what was that like?
So I've been fortunate to be, you know, around some good people when I was, you know, working corporate jobs and whatnot, and met certain people through that. You know, my VFX artists that I, you know, use consistently. My good friend Andy Torres.
He's nasty, by the way.
He's nice.
Crazy.
Shout out to Andy.
Crazy. Yeah.
God.
Andy, you need a meal.
Yeah,
Andy's crazy.
He's crazy. Like, he did when he did. He told me he did the 3D that was in the Super Bowl. Like, at the Super Bowl, like, I was like, all right, like, you're him.
He different.
Like, yeah. So, but it's just like when it comes down to help, right? You talk about Gibson Hazard, and to me, that was like always the biggest compliment, because humbly speaking, like, I think I'm the best, but Gibson's above me.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm the best in this hoop space or whatever.
Yeah.
But Gibson is the GOAT, the trailblazer in this 3D space and whatever it is. So when people say, like, you're the Gibson Hazard of the league or the sports, like, that's one of the biggest compliments they could give me from my perspective.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm seeing him, like, when I was young, I'm like, damn, how does he do that 3D? How does he do that?
Crazy stuff.
So it's like, I'm thinking he's doing that all by himself.
Right, exactly.
But it's not the case. And like, as I got older and I started to realize that, like, you need people, you know, to come in and help you do that. But what a lot of people don't realize is they'll send the VFX or the 3D sequence and you got to put it in the timeline and make it work.
And still,
like, and that's, you know, that's the teamwork part of it, right? But even up to this point, I still do a lot of like my own stuff all the way through the video, whether that's color grading, sound design, shit, you name it. Like, you talked about Final Cut and the stuff that I did early on with Kelly with the beads and the Paris trip.
The beads was crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I was editing that video and it was crazy because the edit was really so janky. Like if you go through it like frame by frame, it's janky. Like I paused the video when I seen all his beads and I took a screenshot. I took that into Photoshop and I just took them off one by one, right? As a photo, went frame by frame and just threw the picture over that. And then like I just isolated some of the beads that were the clearest and then I used those later in the video as just flying around. So it's just like me just trying shit. Like I'm not really thinking when I start to edit this video like, oh, I'm gonna take his beads off his head. Like
that was different. And when it's like when you break it down like that, you know, it's so simple.
But it really
in
is,
a way.
though.
But it's like in real time when you watching it, you just like,
facts.
No, I run it back. Like I ran it back a few times. Like this dude just took the beads off his head.
But I just think you go back to like saying it's not simple. And it's
Final Cut.
It's not simple. Yeah.
That's what always blew me. Because it was the in Final Cut.
Final Cut.
I mean, it's not simple, but it's just people see that, right? And
I feel like it's simple if you understand it.
But people won't try to understand it. And that's the thing that triggers me. It's like, they'll be like, oh, that's fire. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you should pause it, watch it frame by frame. Think like, how did he do that?
Well, I told you earlier, told Chance, just turn the music off. Everything you watch, just turn the music off.
Watch it without music.
That's every time you like, that shit easy. Every time you come in here and you like, you don't think this hard? I'm like, bro, turn the music off.
That's the biggest thing right there. Yeah. I edit my videos to no music. That's what people don't understand either. Not a lot of people know that. I don't know if people edit
different.
Like that. Yeah, like when I lay out my timeline and everything, there's like I'll take like all the footage and I'll throw it into the timeline and I'll just go through it. And you know, you make your string out, you make your selects and all that. And then after you do that, then you have, you know, a whole list of your selects. From there, I start piecing it together. Like, how do I want this to go to there? What footage pairs up better with each other? Like, it's really all about motion, keeping your eye moving the same way, a focal point with stuff going on. Like, it's about changing pace. Like, I was a point guard, so like, I know how to control the tempo in a lot of different aspects. You know, going to see your question earlier, but
activated. Look at it. Look at it.
But
we'll get to that later in life.
But yeah, I don't even see. I'm getting off track. I don't even know.
You know how to control the tempo.
Yeah, I control that tempo.
Control the tempo. That was really.
It's about that's what the editing without the music. Yeah. So like I'll go through it. I'll piece stuff together. I'll see what clips I got with the motion. If I have a clip that's going left to right, but I have more that's going like right to left, I'll reverse that clip, throw it next to those just to make sure it's all fluent. Yeah. And then from there, I'll just start hearing how I want it to sound, more so with sound effects. Yeah. So I'm just like in my mind, I'm watching something play and I'm like, all right, here it's going to have a riser and now it's going to hit. Excuse me. Like, so as I'm watching through my timeline and my raw selects, I can't say raw. It's crazy.
Pause. He's about to lose his mind.
Sure, pause. But so yeah, when I'm going through my selects, I'll look and I'll pair them up. Yeah. And then I'll put that to the music after I do that. Because if I start editing to the music early, it's not gonna look right. I'm gonna cut it at certain parts where I hear a clap in the song or like a hit and like it might have been too quick. But if I'm watching it without the music, I'm seeing how it's flowing. I'm seeing like, okay, this goes into there. It was 2 seconds on here, 1 second here. And then I'd take that, then fit it to the music. And I might take a little bit off here and there, but it doesn't kill the whole edit. Yeah. So
that's interesting.
But do you have the song in your head?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes like you just kind of know like what kind of video you're making. Like if you're making a video of like somebody creating art in a studio versus a high intensity ad for like the NFL. Like, you know, you're going to have to switch it up. You know, you're going to have a more intense song, faster hits, faster cuts, all of that. But if you're doing something that's artsy, you might take a different approach. You might have more like just different types of transitions. Maybe it's a little bit softer. It's not so aggressive or whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, and then you just formulate it that way. So
that's interesting. That's a different way of.
That's creatively
looking at it. Because you edit to the music. You just have a song and you go and you just.
Yeah, I already had a song in my head. And I kind of just.
See, I've switched it up. I used to do that a lot. Now I edit to an 8 count or like a 4 count. I just figure out my pattern and I map out my pattern before I even lay stuff down.
That's a good option,
and
honestly, yeah.
I go down through, like you said, going through the selects. And I'm like, okay, I like these clips together. I like these clips together. Where can they go?
Right.
If I slow this down, how does this affect this? If I speed this up, then it's like, okay, what song might work?
Yeah.
And I'm going BPM because it's like, what if they don't like the rap song I choose or whatever? And it's like, I got to change the song. I can throw whatever song got the same. I've been telling you that.
Yeah.
Just find a song with the same BPM. It'll work. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay.
Tempo is so important.
Do it match with lyrics? Yeah. Ooh, let me slide this section here. Like, that's an interesting way to edit though without any music at all.
It's a puzzle. I mean, like,
interesting.
After I go through my selects, then I make my music track.
Yeah.
And like when I'm making my music track, that means like I'm adding my sound effects into it. I'm splitting the song up. I'm cutting certain things out.
See, I've been doing that.
Like fusing 2 to 3 songs together for one video that might be 30 seconds. Or I'm taking the end and moving it. Like,
I've been cutting up like a DJ.
So it's like after I do that, then it's like I already went through my select. So I'm already knowing, like, as I edit the music, I'm like, okay, yeah, I remember that. That's gonna go right here. And then you go back after you do that and you just put it together. It's really a puzzle. Like,
and that's why when people ask how, it's like, I can't tell you how.
It just happens.
This is up here.
That's it.
This is different.
That's it.
And everybody got their own version of it. Like, I can't tell you how.
Yeah.
Like,
people be asking me that question and I'll be like, I just know it looks good.
Yeah.
I know it look bad. And I know it look good. And if it look bad, 9 times out of 10, I'm probably gonna tell you.
Yeah.
So take it as constructive criticism.
See, we can go one or two ways with this. I think the direction I'm gonna go first is you low-key have some beef out here. Because maybe you're just brutally too honest, or I don't know. Why do you have this like mysterious beef with people? What's going on?
You do be unhinged on your story.
I mean, I guess it's like, it's unintentional, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, that's still the filtered me, which is crazy. Like, you know.
Filtered.
Feels very familiar.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm sure, you know, everybody has a fence test where they really get their thoughts off and whatnot.
Course.
You know, so it's like, I feel like I got, you know, one of the better ones out there, but we're going to leave that for another conversation. But
you want to plug it?
His fence is crazy.
I ain't going to.
He not plugging it.
I ain't going to say the name, nah, but I will say.
I can get it after.
You can get it, yeah. You can get it, yeah. You can get it. That's
right.
Pause.
You can get it. No, you can get it.
Yeah, I said it like 3 times too. That's crazy. Oh shit. All right.
Because you tired.
Yeah, but what's up? What's up with the I don't know, man. The beef.
Your beef. Like, the beef is crazy.
I feel like, you know, you are a little brutally honest. You're a little outspoken about things kind of in the world, but I don't know. I've never felt offended by anything. Like, why do you feel like you have this kind of hidden beef with a lot of people?
I think that's for the people to talk about and for the people to understand. I mean,
it's crazy.
At the end of the day, like I said, you know, whether it's basketball growing up, like I'm going to talk, you know, just whether that's just at a competitive nature or whatever it might be. Like, I don't know. You know, it's like I'm real. And people don't like that.
Well, I just feel like that's constructive criticism.
And that's how I look at it. And it's like 9 times out of 10, if I'm posting somebody's work or whatnot, like, I'm not tagging nobody. I'm not coming at nobody's head.
Yeah.
It's just like, if I see work and it's not up to par, I'm going to say something. Don't get emotional. Just get better.
I'm going to keep saying this because the homie said it.
Talk about me.
No, but if you take it personal, then you got the message. And that's, to me, the bar of the year. Like, if somebody says something generalizing something about someone's work or whatever it is, they don't drop names for whatever reason, and you take offense to it, that's personal. That's personal.
Yeah.
If I say that something is basic, first of all, that doesn't mean that you're not capable of doing something else.
Yeah.
It just means that specific work is basic. And that is okay. It's also okay if you're not there yet. 100%. And it's like, we get so, like, I feel like we're so sensitive. Like, we talked a little bit, I think, like, on the second episode about giving feedback and, like, our friends and stuff like that being able to give us constructive criticism. And you always say everybody tell you your stuff is ass. I don't recall these days, but it's
you told me this coming into California.
But I feel like if I do say that to you, you take it well.
Every time.
Because it's coming from a good place, if anything. Yep. And I mean, that's not always the case, obviously, with strangers commenting on other people's work. But like, first of all, it's art. It's subjective. Anything we put out, it don't matter how good. I could be hyping you up. Somebody could say Cam is trash. You know, like, that's 100%. Just the reality of it. So it's like, you can't take stuff like that personal, because I feel like you don't want to create from an angry place. Like, I feel like when I'm creating like that, it could go one or two ways. Either I'm going to go crazy or like I literally lose myself in trying to prove a point to somebody that don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? And that I can't have.
Right.
So it's like,
I had that before.
Where you just fueled by like,
I was fueled by
this
anger.
person talking stuff.
Yeah, it was like a group chat where it was like, he's really not like nice like that.
I remember that group chat.
Yeah, and I really put out some of the best work I put out in like some months. And people was asking me, like, how did you do that? Like, how did you pixelate JD into like a pixel? And it's like, nah, bro. You really pissed me off, bro. You pissed me off.
See? So anger could work.
Yeah.
Like, it's really just all about the person, and you got to kind of channel that. Like,
because sometimes we just really don't be trying, though. That's what I think people don't really understand.
We don't. I just want money.
Like, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not Cam. I'm not giving you 2 months on the edit because y'all don't appreciate it anyway.
Yeah.
Respectfully, I'm giving you like 15 to 20%.
Yeah. I mean, and that's
because you want it quick, you want it fast, you want it like you putting too many constraints on it.
For sure.
And I can't give you my best.
And you gonna revise it down to some water.
You're not getting it. Mm-hmm. So it's like when people are commenting on stuff a lot of times too, it's like you really genuinely don't know what can come out of that. So it's good that that person you was like able to light a fire under.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like sometimes you need that too. And I feel like I be needing it. Like I say it all the time. Like I feel like I'm BS. Like I'm getting content with doing content work. Mm-hmm. But it's like sometimes
that's terrifying. Speaking
you know what
Halloween,
I'm saying?
That's
like
terrifying.
Yeah. And I be having to have a full-blown conversation with myself. Like, you got to get up out of this space. But sometimes it's like you're so caught up on, like, getting from gig to gig sometimes. Like, you get in that space where it's like, I'm a very emotional creative when it comes to my work. Like, it has to be something I'm genuinely into. I can't just, it's not a switch for me. Like, I literally got to be into it. So it's like, maybe I need that fire sometimes. So it's like, it can't always be a bad thing, but yeah, man, that's interesting. But
I think when you make work, I always tell people that you want somebody to feel something. Try to evoke emotion out of something, whether people hate it or love it. Not just, keep going, scrolling. Because it's like, if they hate it, they probably hated it for a reason because you tried something. And you trying, like, which only means what? You're going to get better.
Yeah, that's valid.
You know, ideally. So it's like, you just try something, get a reaction out of somebody. Don't just throw something together. Like, again, I'm probably going to cause more beef with this, but this is one thing I hate more than anything right now in this industry, we're calling it, right? Mm-hmm. People film an athlete, film Kyrie, doing something in a game, simple angle. They put it in slow motion and they put some music over it and they post it. And it's like, to me, that's not art. You just filmed another human and you threw him on your page and you're getting likes, clicks, views because of that person, but you added no creative touch to it.
And we want to raise the price after.
Darn.
You want to raise the price.
We want to raise the price
because
after.
of your proximity, but your work ain't up to par.
Ooh.
That's real though. That's real though.
I can't respect it.
The proximity. I feel like in LA we see it a little more because it's like we are in close proximity to a lot of people. Yep. And it just makes it so hard sometimes because it's like, dang, everybody really not like that. No. And I don't say that in a disrespectful way, but we not. But because we get the access to athletes and celebrities and stuff like that a little easier, we just put ourselves on these pedestals. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like...
Some people do.
Like you said, I might get credentialed to a Clipper game or something. And next thing you know, like, because it's, they played against KD, I put slow-mo on it. Now I'm like, I'm nice.
Right.
Because he was shooting a jumper.
Because you had some access? Or because you put
your
some
access
art?
Is cool. Respect for you getting the access, but it's like...
Yes and no. Yes and no.
But what are we doing here?
Yes and no. I don't respect everybody that got
like,
that access.
What are you doing though?
Sometimes it could be they got access for a different reason, and it's just...
It was a whole hot mess last year with the Clippers. Somebody was filming. I think it was Kelly Oubre screaming his name. Kelly, in warm-ups. We couldn't even go on the court no more in warm-ups.
Because of, a photographer?
Somebody came in there and was vlogging in the arena.
Crazy.
And was screaming his name while he was warming up. And then they shut it down. So for the rest of the season, it was like, can't nobody come on the baseline no more. Can't nobody get their shots. You got to film for outside in the black. It got crazy because it's like...
Oh, my gosh.
Fans.
And that's why I always preach to people, everybody don't deserve to be in there.
Trying to get clicks off another person's image.
Vlogging. As a media member.
And you not even vlogging your own life. You trying to get clicks off another person's image without helping their image. Come on.
And not only that, but now you pissing me off because you distracting the man from playing basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
he genuinely
we gotta have boundaries. Yeah. We don't even have boundaries no more.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to the like, not that you square, but it's like having that separation.
Yeah.
You gotta have that separation because it's like, either it's a job or it's not. Either you're a creative or you're not.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be that boundary. Why are you doing that while somebody warming up? Before the fans even there. You went here screaming and vlogging for your YouTube.
That's crazy. Before fans are there?
Yeah, it was bad.
I look at it, it's just sad. How did you get to that point in your life where you feel like that's what you got to do to make it? You know what I'm saying? It's like, instead of going home and going on YouTube, learning a skill, you'll have him yelling at athletes trying to get them to make a reaction to get paid off that.
Yeah.
It just never added up to me.
It's just so disheartening.
It's a lot of clout, man. Clout is a drug.
It's tough because it's like, you wonder why people get cameras now. And it's like, you kind of want to say, everyone's allowed to get a camera for whatever reason they want, whatever. Right. That's the politically correct answer. Yeah. But like, sometimes it's like it feels like too much.
Yeah.
And we, again, it's proximity is what we just experience in our own spaces, but it's like, sometimes it's too much. Everybody don't deserve to have a camera. And some people are so careless that they won't do the research to find out if you deserve to be here just because you have a camera. It's like they just let you in and then you just ruin it for everybody.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
You just got your camera 2 weeks ago and now you in a Nike LA event or, something crazy.
And you acting crazy. You act like you don't belong.
Yeah. Sad story. We see it too often.
So transitioning into, this next level of your creative journey, I noticed you've been teasing a masterclass. Can you give us a little overview of kind of what made you want to do that? When do you plan on dropping for those who may want to sign up? And, just, again, the ideology behind now feeling like this is something you want to do. And what's that? Low-key, this is loaded, but what has that process been like?
it's been an intentionally slow process because again, it's just like my videos, I'm trying to put out something of value. So I'm not going to rush anything, especially when 1, I'm asking for money and 2, I'm trying to provide a service that I think is valuable.
Yeah.
And up to this point, I never really I was so scared about giving out free game. Like, they going to take this, they going to take that.
Yeah.
But like, at the end of the day, they're not going to have my access unless they earn that access, right?
We're not doing that.
So
anyway, 2 months on an edit, we're not doing it.
Yeah, that's a fact. But I mean, going back to what you said, you're not doing that. And that's why it's like, for me, it's the love of the art that makes me do that. It's a pride thing. If I'm put something out, my name is attached to it. So it has to be of a certain level for me to even drop it. So when it comes to the masterclass, it was like, my mental was going back and forth for years about it. And now it's just like, I think I have developed a certain set of skills and I have something to offer. So if I package it right, it could be beneficial for others. So why not release that? Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thought process behind it. And now it's just about getting it right, getting it to that level. I actually want to do a live masterclass. So have people come to a studio in LA and say, I have tons of different things written down, different modules we'll do in there, whatever. But it's like, it could be something as simple as, take this bear, you have 5 minutes to film it, and then you have 10 minutes to go back and make an edit. And then we're going to have 10 people in there or whatever, and they all going to make something different. And we talk about it. Yeah. And then we see what could be better, what cannot be better, and whatever. I'm going to go over certain movies on how they tell stories, because people watch movies and they don't really digest how they're telling the story. Yeah. Like you said earlier, you turn off the sound.
I watch the good movies in silence, bro.
Sometimes if you watching a good movie, they'll tell you the storyline just based off camera angles. You looking up at somebody, you trying to make somebody feel inferior. You trying to make somebody feel dominant, like camera angle, motion, all of that play a part, but people don't really look at that or they don't understand it. So it's just going over all of that stuff and just like creative, ideas and thought process. And I kind of just want to break that down and try to help people have some sort of roadmap to getting creative.
I was just going to ask, is it the roadmap to the creativity or is it the roadmap to the sauce? Because I feel like a lot of people, when they buy master classes, they want the sauce. And if you can't answer that for the sake of people still buying the master class.
No, I mean, I feel like that's one and the same. Is it not?
It can be, but I would say that would be the closest thing is to having the recipe but not making the sauce. At the end of the day, just because I use all of these ingredients, it doesn't mean that the way you make it is going to turn. You could literally do everything the instructions say, piece by piece, and it will never taste like that one time you had it where you was like, damn, this is really good.
Yeah, I always tell myself, if you ask me right now to remake one of my old edits, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
There's no way I could do it.
And I think that's the sauce.
Yeah, maybe I can get close, but there's so much keyframes going on. There's so much transitional elements that are going frame by frame in each one. It's just such a tedious process. Showing people how to do that, but showing people more so my thought process behind how I got there. Yeah. So you was talking about Josh's video a long time ago.
Yeah.
That I did. Josh's episode 3, I want to say, on the last episode we ever did on the farewell tour was probably one of my favorite works. Not probably, damn near it's in my top 3 to this day. But I was doing a whole lot of motion going in and out and whatever. Yeah. But there was this one specific time where he saw Brandon Jennings, dapped him up, whatnot, right? So you go like this, right? And then he's going like that. And then I seen a gap in their arm. I'm like, I can go through that. If it don't look good, it don't look good, whatever. So then I'm looking through other footage and I seen him give somebody a hug and he does the same thing with his arm. Yeah. So I'm pairing that. I'm like, I can go through that. So it's just thinking about.
They're not thinking like that.
They're not. And it's training them to, training kind of sounds crazy, but more so teaching or just showing kind of how I got to that process. So maybe they could think too when they're looking at their footage, oh, what could I do to this to make it a little better? And you try it. Early on, I'm making transitions. I'm spending 10 hours on one transition to delete it. Because it didn't look good.
Ooh, that is real
I'm forcing it.
Pain. That's real pain.
Yeah, I'm forcing it.
That's real pain. You might
It's
have to get
tough.
it. You might have to get this janky edit.
It's tough.
Yeah. It's 10 hours.
10 hours, I'm shutting the computer down, bro.
Yeah.
If
But
I
it's
gotta
like-
delete it,
That frame by frame, just hassle of getting it right. Sometimes it's,
Man.
couple days worth of that, that 10-hour span, but you keep revisiting it. So
I feel like that comes from the love of the art, though. Like, to want to go back and do that for 10 hours over and over and over. Like, to have that type of energy and that motivation to do that, like, that's a positive thing. And, like, we joking and stuff, but it's like, there's those 1 or 2 times where it may be something that we're working on, where it really makes you want to go back and do it. And to have that as often as you have it, like, that's a jewel. And I think, like, when you talk about, like, the secret sauce to getting from A to B, and when people ask you, well, how do you do this? This is why we can't give you answers. Yeah. Because that is some stuff that I can't teach.
It's the way you're built.
You know what I'm saying? It's
either you got it or you don't.
Yeah, it's like your framework. Yeah. It's who you are, at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. We talk about the love of the art, but in reality, it might be more about pride.
It's pride, for sure. Like, I'm not about to fail on this edit. You got me fucked up. I've been here for 10 hours.
If I'm going to put something out, people going to associate my image with my work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it can't be of a level that I don't want to be looked at. I walk into a gym, I want people to, just as a human nature, you want people to, be like, oh, okay, he's here. Like, I'm going to get something good today.
Nah, facts.
Like, up to this early on, I was in gym, no one knew who I was. Now, if I walk into a gym, 9 times out of 10, like, this last summer, like, I'm doing pre-draft NBA stuff. I don't even know who these people are, really. And they're coming up to me like, hey, man, what up? It's my name. Like, and I'm like, oh, yeah, what's up, bro? Cam Bev. He's like, oh, I know who you are.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Shit.
I've been watching you. I've been seeing your stuff. Like, that's it.
We're in Paris this summer. Yeah. We went out one night, right? I'm sitting down and Jaren Jackson come over to our section, looks at me, what's up, bro? Jaren. I'm like, Cam Bev. He's like, motherfucker, I know who you are. I was like,
that's different.
Oh.
That's different.
I was like, oh, love.
Because that's random.
And then the whole time, like, we just had a great night. Like, we've known each other for years, right?
Yeah.
But it's just, he's probably seen my work from someone else. And then it's just off that, it's the respect.
That's a good feeling. I mean, that's how we're trying to treat this podcast, to be honest. It's like, it took us a year to get it going because it's like, can't put out any,
Right.
Yes.
Can't put out no garbage.
I mean, I wouldn't be on here if I thought it was
I know.
bad,
that's why I'm like, we got to be intentional. But it's like you said, it is that pride of like, damn, I didn't even really think about it till then. But this is like that moment for me because I've really been just kind of doing whatever is going to pay the bills. But this is the one thing that as of late, I'm like, nah, bro, like, I hate to be a stickler about it, but we can't have a caption look like that. We can't have this look like this. Like, we got to fix this lighting. You know what? Scrap it. We not even posting an episode because it's like you said, at the end of the day, it is a representation of you.
It's that serious.
That one moment that somebody sees something where they feel like it's trash, it'll be like you never did anything good.
Mm-hmm. You only as good as your latest work. So.
Wait, hold on.
Put that on a t-shirt. My man's got to, we got to write that down, Chance.
I'm doing it. You
put that in the
only
notes.
As good.
Y'all
That's
funny.
your latest work.
I know y'all heard, that one's kind of generic. Like, I know y'all heard that one before.
No, never.
No, y'all heard that one before.
Maybe it just went over my head, but it's going in the captions.
Man, that was good stuff right there.
Because you think about it. Never mind, I ain't even going to tell y'all what I'm about to do with it.
You're only as good as your latest work.
I mean, that is true, though.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that not just in, like, creativity, but, like,
life.
In sports, in life, and everything. Like, how many people forget that Kobe was really that dude?
Yeah.
It's a lot of them. Because all they thinking about is him on a bum Achilles, shooting up, some crazy shots at the end of his career.
Forget that. Let's take it to something a little bit more recent. People not even remembering that Bron won a championship in that bubble. Like,
yeah.
They talk, oh, he ain't done nothing for LA, or is he not doing this or that? Like, that's already out their mind. Like, what could he do next?
Yeah.
It was 3 years ago.
Yeah. It has some time, but it's just like, people are always just, oh, you did that. Okay, what's next? You
That
did that. What's
short-term memory.
Yeah, and that's why as a creator,
crazy.
you gotta have it too.
I mean,
You out here preaching.
let's talk about short-term memory, right? So since we were on that topic, we could talk about, you winning an Emmy, right?
I didn't win an Emmy, but
You didn't win an Emmy?
No, I won a Telly award.
You won a Telly?
That was behind you. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So you won a Telly.
Oh, I thought.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to have short-term memory on that. We're going to go. We're
Yeah.
going to reminisce. We're going to have that moment.
From Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles, we welcome you to another edition of Clippers basketball.
We've seen this building. It's Brandon Boston. We saw it in Summer League, and then we saw glimpses in the preseason.
A battle between teams that have had some classics over the last few years.
Lights are bright. Man, that fits BJ to a T.
Boston gets the entry pass. Work against Smart, one of the better defenders in our league. Here comes the Boston runs the show with Tatum in front of him. An aggressive drive. Oh, and it falls for the rookie. What a tough shot. On the dribble, step away three. What footwork. What touch by intercepted by Boston.
Another steal for the rookie.
He's got his fingerprints all over this game so far. Feels good, lets it fly. Oh, why not?
You know, he's fearless.
Been fearless once again against the 10th ranked defense in the NBA.
Interception by Boston. Back to the cup.
What do you think, TC?
It was definitely a moment. I mean, I'm hearing like there was over like 19,000 submissions and like, we got gold and like top of the top, whatever. I mean, it's cool to like, it was cool, but it's like, it was like already out. Like whether it won the award or not, like I knew it was of a certain level.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like an award for me doesn't really like save the day or seal the deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a nice acknowledgement for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think being nominated for an award, it really is like the best thing, really. I mean, like people can get nominated, but then once you get nominated, it's like it's all humans really picking who won.
It's just somebody choosing what they like.
So it's like you get nominated for an award, your work is of a certain level, right?
It's worth it.
And there's so many people that talk about all these award shows being like not representative of the true art or whatever it is in our culture and our climate. So it's like awards for me don't really do too much to my mental, but when I put out the piece, like I already knew it was of a certain standard.
I mean,
wow.
The intro was.
Yeah, that was crazy. I actually brought that TV. I found it.
I remember you putting that green paper on it, walking around the Clippers arena.
Yeah, shit. The night before, for real, I found a vintage TV on OfferUp. Drove down. It was like 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
Older gentleman, super nice guy. He was like, "Oh, what are you gonna use it for?" And I'm like, I'm trying to explain it to him. He lost.
He had no idea.
Really, digest what I'm trying to tell him. So, I brought it in there the next day. I'm carrying it like this, walking through the arena. I had a piece of green construction paper on it, shadows everywhere. I knew the key was gonna be hard, like when I was gonna do it in post.
Yeah.
But it's just about like, getting creative and what I wanted to do. I made the transition and shit. That's probably one of my favorite transitions to this day.
Yeah. Cause that shit was crazy.
No, that's definitely one of my best for sure. Yeah. Just the overall scope of the story that we told too, and the tragedy in that situation. You know, with Terrence and it's just how he had his best game ever against Boston, and just how everything worked out to tell the perfect story. So it's like I gotta body this. I had no choice.
Yeah.
Like.
And it's one of those players that's like, obviously he was highly regarded in high school, but it's like with him going as low as he did in the draft and, the struggles at Kentucky or whatever, it's like to get a redemption story kind of in a way, I think is huge, especially because like when you look at storytelling around the league, it's not typically around a player who isn't the star. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was dope. So I'm glad you guys got nominated and actually won the award for it because it's like you said, at the end of the day, like, it's whatever for you, like that is gonna be. But it really is a stamp of like, this was something that was worth it. And we talked about it earlier as like wanting to invoke emotion, but like ultimately like the storytelling that we doing is something that people like are gonna remember for forever. You know what I'm saying? For the rest of their lives. And for some people it's a lot more personal than like we think. You know what I'm saying? So
like I've seen multiple grown men cry, like real tears. Like I'm talking bawling, like sniffling, like over my work that I've done for them. And it's like to see them have that reaction when they've let me into their lives to tell that intimate moment of their life makes it all worth it. Because it's like I'm putting in my time and effort, blood, sweat, and tears, whatever you want to call it, to make this video to tell your story the way it should be told and to make it look good while doing it. And a lot of people, just don't necessarily have that appreciation. So you're getting an award and all that, it's great. It stamps the piece, and it's definitely, it looks cool. It got some weight to it, so it's like, it's cool to have around the house. But
I mean, it's for your mom.
Yeah, sure. Me and
the awards are for the parents.
One thing I will say though about that BJ episode is me and Brandon wanted to work together for a minute, actually, like going back to DMs, right? I'm hitting him up when he was at, I think, like Norcross or something. He was in Atlanta.
Norcross in Georgia.
So it's like we were DMing a long time ago, and he was sending me his AAU schedule. Like, when can I come out to a game, right? And then it just never happened because it's not easy to do when you're a young 20-year-old funding yourself and whatever. So it's like the first time we actually worked was when both of us were professionals at the highest level in our field. With an organization at the highest level, and he's in the NBA, the highest level of bat. So it's just like, we've been trying since 2017, and then the first video we do wins the award. So it's just like,
it's fruition.
It felt like it was like meant to be, to like do a piece with him, especially because I never really knew him like in high school and whatnot. We knew of each other, but it's like he friends with Josh and kind of that whole scene. So it's like I was just around, so it just felt right to, just go crazy on that and make it happen.
So what is it that you feel like you want to do more of if you can? Like, I know you talked about like the Vogue kind of being like something where it almost felt like you were at a peak, but like, do you have anything that you can look at right now and say, these are a few things that I want to do?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing that I've been, trying to get right, I mean, like I have my own creative agency, and it's pretty much me with a whole bunch of other people that I'm like, that are helping me out, but it's like no salary or whatnot. Like, I think the dream eventually is to have a whole fluent creative agency that's like the fantasy factory of the creative world, right? So you go in, you're going to see the court, you're going to see a trampoline, you're going to see computers lined up, you're going to see the photo studio, you're going to see all of that, but it's just going to be like a creative space to go in there and get work done and have fun. And it's like, I think that's really like the dream in a sense, to where you going and you creating every day with your friends and you're making a living off that. And it's like, that's hard to do in this world. One, you have to have an audience. You have to be wanted, like, and making it just from paycheck to paycheck as a freelancer is tough enough. Versus transforming that into a whole business on a whole nother scale, having a whole agency where it's fluid. And there's a lot of steps to it to do it right. And it doesn't happen overnight. So, and that comes with continuing to build my relationships and working my way up that way. But long term, cinema. Yeah, like I want to have, like Jordan Peele, like came out with Us and Get Out. Like he was a comedian his whole life, and then it's like, I'm gonna make a movie. Like that's eventually you're gonna see a movie on the screen directed by Cam Beverly.
Oh, we gonna play that back in.
Oh, we gotta play it back.
In 6 to or 5 to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna see it.
No, I mean, I can see that for you. I think you touched on a good point though, especially with like the creative agency. I think like the toughest part too is like trying to figure out how to be a leader amongst your peers. I think is the toughest part about operating in this space with other creatives, because no matter what the level is, like you're always going to end up having to be that leader. And people have gone through different parts of their journey. I think me and Sean met a guy that he went to school with yesterday at something we were filming. And like, he's at a pretty, you know, high level in a company. And it's like, he was like, I was a PA for 7 years. And he's coming in still technically kind of as a PA with a better title. And now he's in charge of people. He's in charge of people who may feel like they're way farther along than him. And it's like, how do you get into a space like that and people be willing to listen to you, be willing to take your ideas for, you know, help and positivity, as opposed to it feeling like it's just like, you think it's your show, you just want to use your ideas and stuff like that. And that's tough with creative people.
It's super tough to navigate. I mean, I think that it has to start with action. I mean, I have friends that come over and they'll see me sitting right here.
Yeah.
As they fall asleep on my couch. When they wake up, I'm still here.
Yeah.
That's kind of become normal and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they look at that as, you're crazy. Like what is it? Like, what's driving you? And the whole time it's like,
a bunch of crazy people to work with you.
It's
honestly,
it's pride and it's, I mean, money. We all need money to pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Facts.
but it's like, for me, I'm not just trying to pay the bills. Like, I'm trying to live a good life. We only get one. I drive an AMG. That's got to get paid for. Like, I got to work to. Staying in this spot, like, it's rent, it ain't cheap, you know? Especially in LA. Like, LA damn near charge you to breathe. You wake up in the morning, they taking it out your account.
You paying about $3,000 to breathe here.
You know what I'm saying? And then let alone eat. You trying to get some gas to go you get my point.
No, that's a fact.
$100 to fill up.
So it's like, to get people to listen to you, it starts with you showing how it's done. And from there, it's like, they don't follow. It's like, all right, they're not on my timing. They can go.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I'm not at the point where I'm gonna chase somebody to help me or work this, or if I feel like I got the blueprint and the formula and I tell you or I give it to you, and then you show no reciprocate, you don't hit me up and say, hey bro, let's get that going. Let's do this, let's do that. I'll be like, it's just on me. Like, they not really locked in. So that's, I'm really hard on my friends that help me though. Like, they'll tell you, like, ask Isaac. I be going in on Isaac, but it's like,
you gotta be though.
If I don't like go hard, you know, with criticism or just life's choices or whatever with my friends in my circle, I feel like I'm doing them a disservice. Like, I'm not gonna be a 100%. Yes man, whether it's to my clients or to my friends. If I feel like you can go harder, I'm gonna tell you. If I feel like you bullshit, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
And like, if you feel like I'm doing the same thing, you tell me that too, and it's gonna hold me accountable. And I'm gonna say, bet, good looking, bro. You damn right. Let me get my ass up. I'm not gonna be emotional. Yeah. But we're too emotional. Everybody's too emotional in this world. And it's just, I can't relate. Can't relate.
I mean,
because the only way you're gonna get better is if you get pushed out that comfort zone.
No, that's facts. You gotta have like that circle of accountability. And if you don't have that, then you're gonna be stagnant. And at the end of the day, like, I talk about it all the time. Like, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So that one person that's BSing and sleeping on the couch, all it takes is one time for you to see him on the couch and you go in your room and get in your bed. Now you taking a nap. Yeah. And you've killed all the momentum that you had. You know, that's all it takes. And then it just becomes a domino effect. So it's like, if you can't pump people up, keep people accountable, and at some point, like, if I got to keep doing that, you got to move around. It's not personal. But it's like, your bad habits I just can't have in my space. And like, people will take that personal too. Right. It's like, it ain't personal. Right. It's just, I'm on a different, you know, wavelength, and like, seeing you in that space is not beneficial to me in any way.
I think you use a good word by saying wavelength though, as opposed to like level.
Yeah,
right?
no, for sure.
It's like, I have people coming over here all the time on some like, I'm gonna help you edit. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And then it's like, I'll be working and they'll be tapping on my shoulder. Yo, how do you do this? How do you do it? Oh, how do you clip the clip? How do you crop that? How do you? Literally, I put my headphone back on. I type in on YouTube, how to basics of Final Cut. Copy, paste, and he gets a text literally right behind me, and he'll be and like, this just happened like last week, and he was like, bet, heard you, bro, heard you, I got you, I'm gonna watch that. And I was like, yeah, you trying to ask me simple ass questions, and you talking about you ready to grind. I could do that. Yeah. The point of you helping me out is to help. Yeah. You gonna ask me for some money as I'm training you? Come on. Like, I got homies coming in here
People
trying to help.
don't understand.
But
People
it's not
don't
help
understand.
if I'm helping you do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I gotta be able to leave you alone and know that like I'm like that. You gotta be able to go get an answer. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be 100% knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing about me is like if you in this circle, you gotta know how to get an answer. Don't ask me for something that you can Google.
Exactly.
When it comes to the
proactive.
work. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you see me busy. It's different. We just chopping it up.
Right.
It's a quick conversation. But if you see me get into it and you tapping me, asking me about something like that small, it lets me know that you're not you're not proactive. You're not a go-getter.
That's all it's gonna take for me too.
I should be the last resort.
So,
you should have been trying to get the answer for yourself first. And then it's like, yo, I've been trying to figure this out. I can't figure it out. Can you help me? I shouldn't be your answer for very basic things. And that would like piss me off. Like,
no, that really
you gotta move around, bro. You about to irritate me.
Like,
I got 1,000 things on my plate.
Yeah.
You asking me about something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You got Safari on your phone.
Yeah.
Like, chance, no. I don't.
Yeah.
No nonsense with that stuff. Cause it's like, if you cannot figure it
Trust
out.
me. I know.
No, I'm the same way. It's
and it's with love.
Yeah.
It's with love though.
Even if she talks to you crazy sometimes, like she coming from a good spot.
Yeah.
It's really for your betterment. Cause it's like I tell the people that I am hard on that do try to, come over and try to learn the sauce or whatever it might be. You gotta be worried when I'm not talking to you no more. Cause that's when you just if I'm hard on you, that means I see potential in you. I'm trying to push you because not everybody has this eye or can see things in this certain space or know it looks good. Really.
Yeah.
So the people that have been around me that do see it or have shown glimpses of making an edit or a transition that I'm like, that's different. Not a lot of people could do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to push them to try to get the most out of them because it's for their own benefit. And that's what they don't realize. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's easy for you to basically like hand over certain parts of your process, or are you kind of possessive over it?
When you say hand over, you mean like
when people are helping you, are they helping you with one specific project? Is it like maybe other client work you need help with? Or is it like, hey, I need you to do this. I need you to take it off my plate. And you have to like now trust them with that.
Yeah, I can't. Like, I still haven't found nobody that could really do it right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lie to you. Like, there's some people that, that I've been around that have gotten tremendously better over time. 9 times out of 10, like, people just not seeing that how I'm trying to see it. And we're all entitled to our own visions and how we see things, but sometimes like they be showing me something, I'll be like, do you really think that looks good?
Yeah.
Like, just like think about it. Like,
yeah.
Just think about it. Right? Had somebody come over here, help me make a little Barry Sanders highlight the other day. I'm like, yeah, put he's one of the best running backs of all time. Like, put him doing some crazy shit out there, really getting jiggy, like, like ankles, all of that. The first like 3 seconds of the video is like the ref, like Barry's like running by the ref in slow-mo. You see his back. It stays on it for like 5 seconds and then it goes off the screen and then he cuts to the hot. And I'm like, do you think people would have stayed on that video looking at that ref?
I have this weird thing about backs. I really hate seeing backs. Like in photos
Unless
and
it's a match cut to a
videos.
jersey, I agree.
Yeah.
No, for real though. Because it's like...
Because what's the point?
Yeah.
We're using it in the wrong you're opening the video with the main subject's back turned to us with the ref.
It's crazy. But it's like genuinely
you can't teach it,
like,
bro. I'm telling you, can't teach it.
He really is like trying though. It's like
you can't teach it.
He's like, I've seen him help me with my website, be over here and like working on it all night coding some shit, right? Like really working hard. And I'm like, oh, like he got some work ethic. Shout out to my boy Chandler. But like he made a whole crazy ass animation that I got on my site, on my portfolio page, following, a template, a code, learning how to do it, really getting in there and doing the code. But it's like, there's instruction for that, right? People wonder in this world, they'd be like, oh, I need to get more money. We see all these strikes happening. They're banging drums and shit on the Sheraton every day, literally. And I'm like, you need to learn a skill. Like, he did the website in a night. He stayed up, got exhausted, got it done. But anybody could do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can go work any job, get trained 2 weeks, cool. You can't spend the 2 to 4 years I did in college that I perfected, or I hate perfect, but I, tried to master my skill set as much as I could, because this world pays for skills, not jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a skill set, you're forever going to be running around trying to pay the bills.
Nah, that's a fact. But you just, I mean, I'm torn because I feel like obviously you can learn skills, but I just feel like in this creative space, like you just either have it or you don't.
You got
like that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
And it's like, whatever that it is, it looks different for different people, right?
Yeah.
The it could be your eye, the it could be how you edit, the it could be, maybe it is the technical part of it sometimes, but like some people just ain't got it.
Yeah.
You can be working all day and night at this.
Mm-hmm.
And you still suck.
Yeah.
You suck.
Respectfully.
That's it.
You still kind of suck.
No, it's not kind of. You suck.
No, and it's tough because it's like,
yeah,
I can't teach you. And when you get to a certain level, it's like, I don't really have time to teach you. And people get offended by that. But it's like, I don't, bro, because I spent so much time doing my 10,000 hours. You got to go do yours. And if I see that your 10,000 hours ain't getting you better, you need a new skill.
Yeah. Creative energy is a non-renewable resource.
This shit is like...
That shit is not recycling up there every day. Like, I'm always thinking about stuff for sure, but there's times where I'm like, damn, like, I'm in a rut right now. Like, I got to step away. Like, I can't think of nothing right now.
You will think yourself out of a project because you thought so much about it, and maybe you were occupied during that time, and when it's time to get back, you like, damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even when you write it down, sometimes you can't get back to that place you were at. So it's like, bro, no, I can't teach you.
Can't.
Yeah.
Like, I can't give it to you.
Because I ask you all the time, could you help me learn how to take photos better?
No.
And you say no.
I can't teach you.
And I think going back to like my master class, like I hate the word master because like I don't feel like I'm a master in what I do.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like anybody is necessarily a master. Sure, like you could be really good at it, but that whole master and master class and like we got one master. That's he up there. He makes it possible for us to do what we do, but like I want to like lead people in a direction of more so just like life advice, really. It's like, it's a master class trying to give you the sauce of how to be successful in your lane. Like I have modules in there from invoicing, from business talks to people skills to like, you name it. Like I'm just going down the line and it's like, how do you get in a room and close a deal? The person who names the price first loses. And it's like, certain people don't understand that. They'll go in there and, shortchange themselves and walk up out of there. And, I've been blessed to work to this point in my life now where like I could turn down jobs. Like I don't gotta take every job.
Yeah.
Because, my value to me is worth more than, an edit for
$250.
Yeah. Like
$125.
I was gonna say 2,000, but yeah.
Here we go. He got his big boy pants on. Chance, you got some work to do. That's all that means is that you got some work to do.
Different lanes.
Like I'll do a flyer for $250.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I mean, but we talked about that too when it's like you first came to California. What was the conversation? It's about being versatile.
I mean, this nigga said
bringing more to the table.
Sorry.
So that you can get into that space to where you could be worth that.
Yeah.
If I'm spending, like we joking about the 2 months on an edit, but it's like, if this is what I'm doing, you can't get it for cheap. Like, let's be honest. And I don't know, maybe you might be too young for the reference, but like Frank Lucas was giving out Blue Magic. He was selling that good stuff for the low. Honestly, a lot of creatives is doing Blue Magic because they selling it just to get on the corner, just to get in the room. They want to be on the block. They don't want the exclusivity. They want everybody to get it.
Yeah.
Well, you got to set the price low. You pricing everybody out the business.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, cool, but Then what happens? Now you undersell the product. Not all these creatives doing whatever for the low.
Right.
But it's like you keep your value high. The demand for it look different because it's like, remember how the iPhone used to be when it first came out? It was $700, $800. You couldn't get no AT&T plans or nothing like that. You literally had to buy the phone outright. If you had the first iPhone, second iPhone, people thought you was rich.
Yeah.
Now everybody getting them. They giving them for free. Trade in any phone would give you $13,000.
Yep.
But back then it was like, if you had an iPhone, people thought you literally was rich.
Right.
When they changed the whole mantra to we need one in everybody's hand, the value not the same. People don't upgrade no more.
Yeah.
People like, man, this shit ain't changed since the iPhone 11. Right?
Yeah.
But back in the day, the lines used to be down the street for an iPhone.
Sheesh.
Down the street.
Yeah.
Whole different vibe now. It's like, man, we're just buying them online.
Yeah.
He set his price at $2,000 for whatever it might be.
No, that's low ball.
Cool.
I need about 10 racks.
Because the other thing is, I say it all the time, I'm shopping around my clients. I don't want you.
Yeah.
If you only see me worth $250, I don't want to work with you. Because 9 times out of 10, you're probably a client from hell.
Yeah, facts.
You're probably nagging. You want it tomorrow. You think that you're my only client?
Crazy. Yeah.
Nah, that's true.
Like, let's keep it 100. When you doing gigs that's starting to get in them $1,000 ranges, don't the vibe be a little different?
Every time.
Yeah.
Even if they put a little bit more pressure on you, they understand that now too, that they're paying you for that. Versus it being like $100 for little Timmy's, graduation pictures.
Yeah.
And it's like, I need them tonight if you can. I know you're busy. I know you're still in the car. I know you just left my house. Can you please get me those pictures?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's like stuff like that is not gonna do nothing for my career or my life.
Exactly.
So like I'm gonna get to that when I get to that. I don't care if you're my best friend. Like
yeah,
I get to it when I get to it. If you're not paying me, it's curtains for you. I'm sorry.
$2,000.
Speaking about this price and this money talk, another thing I want to talk about. We're damn near in a recession right now, right? It's bad out here.
It's over.
Yeah. And
it's over for us.
In this lane, I'm seeing a lot of people, creatives, whether it's, teachers of a certain sort, a basketball trainer or whatever it might be, right? They're charging their clients or the people they used to work with, double, triple, whatever it might be. I'm looking at that like it's kind of crazy when it comes to like, you're now doing that because you got to pay some bills. The whole time, like you wasn't really charging them like that. Like I've seen some creatives charge like their clients like up it a little more and they try to justify it or whatever it might be. For me, I'm challenging I like to challenge all creatives to use your contacts or your clientele as your leverage to sell your own products, to sell your sound pack, to sell your masterclass. So you're not taking money out of their pocket, but as a friend, relationship, whatever, just by working with them and making good content for them, people know, oh, he's valid.
Yeah.
He has this roster of clientele. I'm going to go buy his stuff because I could use that in my stuff and maybe make the work look similar versus, okay, I'm just going to charge my clients more to pay my rent. I'm just going to use the leverage that they've given me to now go sell my stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, that's hard. That's harder to do. Much
harder.
It
is harder to do.
And people don't want to go down that road. But that's the real way to do it. And that's the way to earn that respect and to keep it. Because I've been up, I've been down, and people don't know.
Yeah.
I've been in the red and still not going to ask for the money that many times I'm deserved. But it's just, there's certain situations it doesn't feel right. I'm not going to switch up who I am just because, I'm down bad. And because of that is the reason why I've been able to be in so many circles.
Yeah.
So
that's real.
Let me ask you 2 more things before we dip.
Yeah.
First thing is, how much does it cost you to leave your house? What's your price?
Yeah, that's a good question. It really varies on like what I'm shooting, whether it's like a passion project, whether it's, a certain individual that, I've been following their journey. If it's for a longer, a longer piece, a bigger story, like if I'm shooting somebody I've been shooting for years and I got, you seen the hard drives.
Yeah.
All that's doc footage.
Yeah, you got to get rid of them laces.
You know? So, they're sometimes they're
crazy.
The
risky.
laces is wild.
Yeah, but I had something else before and it crashed on me. And I had to pay $4,000 to get it back.
That's crazy.
Sick. Yeah, I had a big ass raid. Didn't even know it was on it. 4 racks, get it back. Didn't even need none of it. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's life.
Pissed me off.
It hurt. It pissed me off. That's life though. And it's like, you shit like that really just can't phase you. It's like, if it phase you, it's like, bet, I gotta make a piece this month to pay that back.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what your mindset gotta be.
Yeah.
But going back to your question.
How much it cost you to leave that house?
That's a good one. I don't know. I don't really have an answer. I
don't.
I mean, if we're talking like hourly rates, like I don't even like to do that.
No, you don't seem like an hourly rate kind of guy.
Nah.
You seem like you're on a project basis.
Yeah.
I need about 5 racks to get out the house type of vibe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from you. Yeah, I understand though. That's
well, I have this thing that I call qualitative pricing versus quantitative pricing. And it's like, it kind of goes to your point where it's like, what's the quality of what I'm doing? Is this something I want to do? Is it a camp? Am I giving back to kids? Is it being with maybe an athlete or being at an event? Is it something for my friends? Whatever, right? Is it going to get me to the next level, right? And building that. And then it's the quantitative. I just want a bag. Am I going to do your workout for 150? Probably not. Yeah. If you're the homie, maybe, just because you asking. Is it close by? Is it 15 miles? Is it 80 miles?
Yeah.
Right?
Talking about the workout stuff.
Because people ask all the time, like, how do you set your price? And it's like, I just feel like there's so many variables.
There really is. It's like, you price your work to where you're going to feel comfortable leaving the house. Like, if you're not feeling comfortable leaving the house with what you getting paid, then at the end of the day, that's on you. Whether you haven't worked to get to that point to where you could charge more, or whether you just too bashful and charging enough. Like, it's just there's so many factors that go into it.
Yeah. So, last question then before we bounce. You get a bucket list, and on this bucket list, 3 people or events that you would like to shoot.
Or events.
You can do events. Or you can give us 3 of each.
Damn, that's crazy. Events? I don't even know if I have any event that I want to shoot. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I don't know. There probably wouldn't be an event I'd want to shoot. Maybe it would just be like tied to that person. So number 1 on my list is probably Breezy. Like, if I could film anything with Chris, whether that's like a vlog or anything creative or what like, we spaz. Like, both creatives.
His mind is crazy.
Like, I still remember his first album. Like, I'm at the crib with the little, like, literally the CD, like, the CD player with the corded headphones, and I'm like dusting the house with my $5 allowance. Did it have the
anti-shock or whatever?
I don't know about all that, but it did heat up.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I actually do know this.
It's like, I just remember listening to like all the class, that first album. Like, he's really a legend. Like, if he never would have did what he did, like, he could be on a whole nother level. Like,
thinking about it.
So,
he's
one. Damn, it's tough because it's like I don't really like have like I don't look at him as like fans. Like, I'm not a fan to anybody necessarily, but it's like. From Seti Hendrix was one that was big. I was like my favorite rapper for the longest.
You did that this year, right?
Yeah.
Was it beginning of this year?
Yeah, and like, it's funny. We were in Vegas. I was in Vegas with Isaac actually, and he was like begging me to go out one night. And I'm not trying to go nowhere. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to no club. I'm not spending no money. I'm good, bro. And he was like, come on, let's go. Finally caved in. Went. I get there, and Seti is the guy that's performing. And it's just random because it's like not a lot of people know who Seti Hendrix is, but that's like my favorite artist. And then I look at Zoe and I'm like, see, bro, I should be filming this. Like, I shouldn't be here. Like, this don't feel right to me. And he was like, watch, it's gonna happen. You just spoke that into existence. Less than 5 months later, it happened. And one of my boys from Atlanta knew him, connected us. Next thing you know, I'm backstage doing the whole 9. And he's commenting on my stuff and liking stuff.
Yeah, I remember.
So it's like, to me, dope. It's like, whether he's on a certain level of fame, like I shook Jay-Z's hand this summer, meeting and doing the stuff with Seti, it was more important to me than that interaction. It's like, it's just because I place my value on what I place my value on.
Right.
So I think that was one of them. Maybe Gunna. Gunna might be number 3. I ain't gonna lie.
I'll take Gunna.
I ain't gonna lie.
I'll take Gunna.
But if I had to like switch it up and do like 3 more, clearly it's like a lot of music, right? But like if I kept it basketball, the one person that I really want to work with is Kyrie. Like I think Kyrie's the most skilled person to ever touch a basketball.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying he's the best ever with that, just straight skill that stuff that he could do with the ball. People can't do that. He can't move like that.
Yeah.
They not doing that hezzy fake spin and against Steph, and people not moving like that. So he'd be another one. But I really want to get into the girl music space and start like Bia, fuck with Bia heavy. Like the girl music space is popping right now.
We need you.
So it's like
we need you.
I ain't gonna lie. Like I know I could help them out a lot. Like I'm seeing some of this music stuff on here and I'm like, it ain't really it.
It just hurts. It hurts when you know you capable.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it's like, could I get into those rooms if I really wanted to? Like probably. Like Chris Brown, gonna know. But like certain artists and certain people.
I feel like you can get into a room with Chris, bro.
I know I could. They're all human. But it's like that seems a little more far-fetched than certain people.
The proximity we have. No way.
You're not wrong. I mean, like, I can't even really name drop half the people that I've
like, there's no way. I know
and,
you can get in them rooms.
Yeah,
we're going to get you in them rooms.
Yeah.
Chris, if you see this, get my mans in this room.
Yeah, nah. I mean, I think I have people like actually kind of like working on that.
Come
like,
on, man.
People have like sent him my page and whatnot, but it's
brother
just like,
done been in a room with him.
Yeah, I have friends that are like really good friends with him. It's like it's proximity, you know. We gonna bring it there.
Proximity is everything.
Yeah,
proximity is everything.
So it's like, I think it's like bound to happen eventually. Yeah. But again, that's one of those things where it's like I'm not gonna force it. I'm not gonna rush it. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's
what's meant to be will always be.
Facts.
So, since you don't want to give us anybody that you really are a fan of per se, how about this? If you can have one conversation for 2 hours with somebody over dinner, who would it be?
Damn.
Real deep, real heavy,
real
inspirational, maybe even an intellectual conversation.
Man, that's a tough one. I would say like...
You need to think about that then.
Like a clone of an older me. For real.
Wow.
If I really wanted to really like give you an honest
different.
Answer. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I'm like, it's like, I feel like...
It's transformative.
I feel like I've lived like every different type of life. I've been like, I grew up with a great life, right? Just suburbs, whatever, it's great. You know, wasn't rich, wasn't poor, had everything I needed. But, you know, went to the Dino, you know, had homies, grew up Compton. I was over there, spent 3 months in the summer over there, like going down to fruit towns, like driving through that just to get some McChicken. Like, look straight, bro, look straight. Like I've seen a lot of different things. I've traveled the world. I've been around A-list celebrities and in A-list rooms of the people you could turn on TV right now and see them. I feel like I've done it. Like I've done that. And it's like, if I really wanted to have a conversation with somebody, it would be myself to like hold myself accountable for real.
Man.
Because I know what I gotta do. I know what I gotta do. It's not no one really telling me like what you should do to do this or to get to this certain point. And I think a lot of people will say, oh, I want this person or this person because they have the formula. But a lot of times the formula is just getting up off your ass and going to do it.
It's just betting on yourself. That's the only formula there is. Get your ass up, bet on yourself.
That's it.
Trial and error. Learn and fail. Over and over.
My dad always told me growing up, he's like, I want you to fail. For the longest when I was little, I never understood that. So it's like, when I started to fail, he was just kind of happy with me in a sense because he knew I was trying something. And he wasn't mad.
Being vulnerable.
Like, at least you taking another step after you failed or whatever. It's like you keep you're going. And that's the only way you're going to improve. So
that's real.
We all humans at the end of the day, and we all have our own journey to get where we got to be. 9 times out of 10, we know what we want to do, but we avoid that. So for me, I'm talking to myself to hold myself accountable.
That's a bar. That's a mic drop.
A great mic drop.
We'll go ahead and end on that note. Thank you for allowing us to raid your home. Excited for what's to come for you.
Yep.
We appreciate you.
Likewise.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you joining us on the pod. So yeah, we got to do this again sometime. This was a good conversation.
For sure.
Really appreciate you.
This is feels like in this day and age where we have so much, new content, people, getting back with, one of the OGs in this space and, really speaking some light and some game onto, hopefully somebody could take something from this.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's all perspective, and it's like it stresses me out when people call me an OG, but I think I understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Paulo hit me with that the other day.
It's crazy.
He didn't realize how old I was. So he's in there like I told him like, yeah, bro, like, I'm 27. He was like, you an OG? I'm like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like
I'm
that.
Grandma then.
Like I got crazy, right? But it's like you think about it, like Paulo 20.
I know.
So it's like when
it's
you get
crazy.
to that certain point and you kind of built that track record, it's like these people and your peers and your people that you work with, it's almost like it's a respect thing now. It's like, they know you've been there, you've done it.
Yeah.
You're not no weirdo. You proving yourself, so I'm gonna fuck with you.
Yeah. It's respect.
So
it's respect.
OGs, we gotta embrace it. Cause in this new world, there's a whole bunch of weirdos. And I'm gonna let you know if you a weirdo for sure. That's all I got though.
All right, man. Well, thank you.
Appreciate
you again. Yeah, this was a vibe. So appreciate y'all for tuning in.
That's a wrap.
I'm just glad to be here, man.
You're stupid.